Introducing social banking from GT Bank. Anywhere, anytime, any device.
My name is Sonwabile Ndamase. I'm of a Pondo region and I am a fashion designer. I started working on the retailing shops whereby I was starting to sell clothing, and I felt passionate about clothing. When people coming, you know, that kind of a person going outside calling people to get inside the store, I've done that. Waiting outside, calling people to come inside, get inside, there's cheap stuff inside, and so forth and so forth. But from that, I follow them when sometimes they get inside. And then a person will start asking what this color could stand with and what can I wear with this. Then from that, it started to showcase that this is the line of what I have been given. And then from that, I started then from the door. Then I was put inside because I was seeing that I'm very good in talking to people inside. Then I got involved into merchandising inside. From merchandising, I get involved into quite a number of things within the store. Within sometimes I realized myself, I was already put onto the managerial of the store. When I finished up my matric, I was already actually making my own money within clothing business. And then from that, it took me to another level. As they always say, the rest is a history, because you find yourself then that you are already into this particular space. And when I do my studies, I started to get into the institutions of learning. And one of the things that caused me to break a little bit is because they was teaching a lot of international trends. And I found that there was nothing being said about the African aesthetics, about who we are, about how our fashion, especially in South Africa, because we're still under oppressed at those kind of years at that time. So therefore I found that it was something that I was revolting against, to say, I am a black person. I've seen quite a number of designers out there who are black people, who are also in the end of the periphery. They are not put into they are not put into the forefront. The magazines are saying nothing about them. Television space is not at all talking about our own ways of indigenous design. How can I therefore make it a point that we're also very much recognized? Then I decided to form up an institution or an association for the Southern African Fashion Designers Association. How I happened then to push myself and push my voice and be in a position of dressing this international icon that is known now as Nelson Mandela. Funny enough as well, Winnie Mandela was also doing her own fight as a woman because she used to dress Afrocentric. I got so close to her and the family, but the funniest thing is that when I landed to Mama Winnie, she thought that I was an informer. You know, at that time in the 80s, when you have a person coming from the rural environment and a male nochar, and then coming to say, I'm a designer. And then you say, I can design for you, Mama, I can do things like this. And they says, this one. He started to send some of her own people to investigate. And then when Tata was released, I was already into this kind of a space, designing and fighting and, you know, the African diaspora to make it a point that people must dress accordingly. Then I was invited immediately when he was released to his house in Orlando West. And then when I was there, I was introduced by the family, this is a designer. And then he says, a designer? Who are you? And then I said, I'm Sonwabile Ndamase. He says, okay, I know the Ndamases, they are of a Pondo origin. And then from that, he knows my family tree and everything. And then he started saying, what can you do for me? What can you design for me? He started to narrate to me the history whilst he was in jail, and also the conditions, and also what kind of a garment that he would like to have. Something that is light, feeling easy to the body, and something that when he dresses up, he could be in a position of addressing business people, and from the business people, he can go and address the people in the rally or the constituency. Then he also said to me, I don't want those dashiki shirts. The dashiki shirts are the shirts that when you wear them, they're only, they're open, you just only pull your head over, and then they've got a V kind of cut on top with an embroidering aside. And then he believed that his predecessor, which was O.R. Tambo, used to dress according to that. So he believed, he said, I don't want to look like him, I only need my own. And then I started to make this particular shirt, I button it up on top with the last T, and then he liked it. He was also using that as a kind of mediating to say to our African people, this is how you could look like in terms of, I can talk to you, you are also good, even if ever then you went into the boardroom. So that's then how it started. I remember vividly clear that people like Lord Yehudi Emmanuel, one of the world violinists, who came, and then he decided to come and give Tata Madiba the violin, his first violin. And the former president then, he decided to reciprocate by giving him one of my designer shirts at that time. And the funniest thing, which was tricky, is that I did not know this man's size. I was just only given his statue, and from that, I had to design from that particular position. And then I was told that because we have to give this man the shirt, we will then take his measurements. And then after that, and work overnight, because he was going to be in South Africa for almost about a week. And then I would then go and redesign the shirt, make the shirt and send it to him. When Tata then now started to open up this parcel in front of the guest, and then he started to make the man to dress with the shirt right on the spot. And here I am sitting on the chair. The chair was like a slippery kind of thing, because I went under, I said, oh my gosh, help me, that the shirt must fit the man. And guess what happened? With immediate effect, it fitted the man like a glove. And then I started to come, then he says, where's Sonwabile? And then I had to come out and then button up the man to showcase the whole beauty of the shirt. There's so much that we can gain from each other, and we are not doing anything around that. Therefore, I feel that we are still a sleeping giant. We as an African continent, our language is being lost, our identity is being lost, and we are not instilling that in terms of our look and feel. That on its own is going to be a challenge, but I believe we can then look at those challenges and turn them into opportunities. We have already started. We have seen, especially Nigeria has been one of the forerunners as in terms of their boo-boos, in terms of how they dress them up with, your past president Obasanjo, how he's been looked at, and also other Nigerians, the way that they've been doing things. They've been setting up the trends out there. We still then need to have opportunity of interacting with us as African people and say, how best can we trade with each other? How best can we also use our own resources in expanding the cake? Otherwise, it's not for us all. It is also for our generation.